Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in today's third and final video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's third and final video. So day 10 is going to take us to around the 18th of June. We'll be able to extend out beyond that. We set GFS and ECM ensembles. May run around a couple of weeks, and we will have a look at the weather for the next 4 weeks of the CFS V2, which takes us into the early part of July. Can you believe it? So I shall get on with that for you very shortly. Just say about the first video today was our 7 AM upload. We also released the ECMWF 30-day look ahead for the UK and for Northern Europe as well. So check that one out if you'd like to do that. And yeah, I've got our 10 to 14 day for you right now. Please like, share, subscribe on all the videos. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing this for GavsWeatherVids. Now, the NEO forecast is out. So here it is, the forecast for winter 2021-2022 in terms of the NEO is released. That's the video watch page just there on the YouTube channel. So if you have not yet seen the NEO forecast, please check it out. Getting close to 4,000 views. So big video, of course, with 205 likes. So very popular video as always. Please check out the NEO forecast for winter 2021-22 if you would like to do that. And yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for liking the video and for sharing it and for watching it and commenting and all of that stuff. It really does mean a great deal for you, you know, for the support that you give to GavsWeatherVids. Now, one of the things that came out within the NEO forecast was a similarity in sea surface temperature anomalies during, well, I thought it was a similarity anyway, during May 2021 and May 1995. So I just want to go over that very briefly. So in the summer forecast, I should very quickly put the webcam back up. In the summer forecast, of course, I spoke about and told you about something that I couldn't really go into for the summer forecast because it would have been a major spoiler, you know, for the NEO forecast. So, although I did not tell you about, but I said I've noticed something that I couldn't go into, and just giving me pause for thought, you know, in terms of this coming summer. So the summer forecast is for a mixed and changeable summer, best summer weather early on, and it deteriorates and gets more unsettled and cooler as the summer progresses. You know, a classic front-loaded summer with the best of the weather in terms of warm, dry conditions in June. I mean, it goes down the tubes through July and August. That is like the summer forecast. That remains the summer forecast. We won't change that. So that's what we're predicting. But I did say that, you know, I could see like a possibility of the summer turning out to be a lot hotter than we are forecasting and most forecasters are expecting. That was based on sea surface temperature anomalies during May that I noticed. So let's very quickly go over these. I haven't really spoken about it in a video. So this is sea surface temperature anomaly map from NOAA for the 24th of May 2021. You see we have got the classic tripod. That's what we are basing our negative NEO forecast for winter 2021-2022 on. So warmer than average to the south of Greenland to Newfoundland, cooler than average from Ireland, the UK, and the Bay of Biscay, going all the way out into the Atlantic, down towards southeastern parts of America. And then warmer again as we come into the subtropical Atlantic from the Azores to the Canary Islands. And then pretty warm, really, as we get down into the tropical Atlantic as well. The classic three-way band of warm over cool over warm. It's the area around the Canary Islands to the Azores that I've been most interested in though. Because that's where some of the warmest anomalies to average are. And that's kind of similar to what we saw in May 1995. So this is the sea surface temperature anomaly map from the same day, 24th of May 1995. You see that generally it's pretty warm to the south of Greenland, especially on the eastern side of Greenland. Notice the warm particularly through like the Canary Islands up to the Azores through here. So of course we've got the Canary Islands down there. That's the Azores just there. So you see how warm it is in that area. extending up towards Greenland, and then that warmth extends down into the tropical Atlantic as well, though a little bit less so compared to this year in May 1995. But overall, quite similar. The one big difference is towards the east coast of America. But you see that in 1995 we have a much colder sea surface temperature anomaly off the east coast of America from Newfoundland, like down to the Carolinas, much colder sea surface temperature anomalies through there. Whereas this year, it was a little bit cool, close to the eastern side of America, a little bit cooler, I suppose, but nowhere near to the same extent that we had it in 1995, and this time the cooler temperatures are more actually towards Ireland and the UK. Still with the three distinct bands, still warm, still warm. Let's get rid of that. So still with the three distinct bands of warm over cool over warm again, but just not quite as cold towards the east coast of America. So still enough to predict like a negative NEO for the coming winter upon. But perhaps a little bit less so than would be the case if we had it even colder towards the east coast of America like we did in 1995. Anyway, back to the summer. So I think there's let me know in the comments what you think. I think there is that similarity there between sea surface temperature anomalies in May 2021 and May 1995. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about that. Of course, 1995 was a very, very, very hot and dry summer, particularly so in August. Had an exceptionally hot August. All of the summer was very dry. I mean, here in Northants, we recorded less than 25 millimeters over all 3 summer months, and the grass just died and went brown. Because it was so dry. Of course, as soon as it rains, the grass comes back. But it was exceptionally dry summer. I think June 1995 we recorded something like 9 millimeters here. July 1995, because we missed all of the thunderstorms, we recorded something like 5 or 6 millimeters. And I think August only recorded like 2 or 3 millimeters at most, barely enough to settle the dust really in August, and overall under 25 millimeters, under an inch for like the whole season. So it's an exceptionally dry summer. So I'm not saying that we are going to have like a repeat of 1995, but I think there is a similarity with the sea surface temperature anomalies with this in the Atlantic. With this year and with 1995. A major difference is what's happening in the Pacific, though. You'll notice that in 1995, we had a really cool Pacific Ocean in the north. So much cooler in the Pacific, proper cold PDO sort of era, whereas this year it's much warmer in the northern Pacific Ocean. Both 1995 also had a weak La Nina. This year we are coming out of a weak La Nina, but we may see La Nina coming back later on, and you've got to wait to see about that. The Indian Ocean also quite similar. So this year in May in the Indian Ocean we have a negative IOD Indian Ocean dipole. So you see that it's cooler through here towards the coast of Africa, and like it's warmer here over towards Indonesia. That's what we call a negative IOD Indian Ocean dipole. And we have that kind of set up in 1995 as well. So it is a little bit cooler through here, and it's warmer through there. So there are similarities, but there are also big differences. Currently, sea surface temperature anomalies look like that. So as we're going into June, we're losing the negative NEO signature now. Still pretty warm around Greenland, though, but it's warmer off the east coast of America as well. Warmer down here, and still a little bit cooler through here. Just generally quite a warm Atlantic still, but beginning to lose that distinct three-way band of warm over cool over warm, but is the tripole that we had during May. So just generally quite a warm Atlantic. That's and how that compares to like early June 1995 is that the tripole did continue into June 1995. So it remains warm there, but also remains warm down to the tropical Atlantic, and then it's cool again around Newfoundland and off the east coast of America. Yeah, so it's quite interesting, isn't it? As going into June, it looks like we're diverging from 1995 quite significantly now and quickly. So maybe it was something, maybe it's nothing. What we're waiting for, of course, of a winter aspect of this is for the tripod to re-emerge, tripod that we had in May, to re-emerge as we get through into winter. Of course, we'll have to wait and see whether that happens. But certainly as we're going into June, in 1995, we kept the tripod going, whereas June, now we're losing the tripod. So possibly we will have a very significantly different summer outcome this summer compared to 1995. But it's going to be very interesting to see how it works out. Anyway, I want to spend a few minutes on that in a video, because I wasn't able to go in depth into it, in the summer forecast. I just wanted to bring an update with that. Of course, it does all tie in with the NEO forecast as well. Right, let's get on with the video then. So I'm on a bit of a tangent there for the first 10 minutes. Sorry about that. Everybody, please let me know what you think about it in the comments. So, right, we're going to do some forecasting. Let's have a look at GFS, upper air temperature, and precipitation ensembles for the, excuse me, for the next couple of weeks. So, red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Norwich. We're looking at Norwich today. So we're already warmer than average, and we're going to see temperatures, both upper and surface temperatures, lifting up over the next few days. It's going to become very warm as we move into the weekend. These very warm temperatures are going to continue into the early part of next week as well. So like up to the middle of the month, dates on bottom of the chart, of course, up to the middle of the month, that's around mid-month there, it's going to get warmer. Now, as we move into the second half of the month, I'm sure you've already clocked this, I'm sure you've already noticed it, we do see a cool down. And so as we go through the third week of June, there is quite a significant change, actually, being forecast there by the GFS ensembles. They really are cooling things down quite substantially and significantly through the third week of June. So this third week of June, the second half of June, is still causing all sorts of mayhem and questions within the model output. Are we going to keep the warmth going? In which case it will be a very hot June indeed, I think. Or are we going to see a significant reversal of the heat and of the warmth and cool things down? Also big changes in terms of precipitation with the GFS ensemble. So you see it's pretty dry over the next week or so up to the middle of June. There are some precipitation spikes as you always get, like a few showers around, but you know, I don't think there's going to be all that much in the way of precipitation over next week. It's going to be very dry, really. But then you see how the precipitation spikes suddenly come back, and we're getting to the second half of June, into the third week of the month, and back come the rainfall spikes. Obviously, then, you know, we've got a very clear signal within the GFS ensembles. Could be wrong, you know, just because there's a clear signal doesn't necessarily mean it's right, but the very clear signal for, like, week 1 to be very warm and also very dry. Week 2 is much cooler and also a lot more unsettled, much wetter as well. Temperature anomalies from the 8th to 16th of June are warmer than average, not just for the UK, but through most parts of Europe. Hardly a surprise given that upper air temperature ensemble prediction. Precipitation anomalies from the 8th to 16th of June are also significantly drier than average. Again, not a surprise given that ensemble graph that we have there. So warm and dry for the next week. The questions are beyond that into second half of the month. Around the 16th, actually, like changeover day, if we do turn things cooler and more unsettled. Later info on that from earthnorthschool.net shows that we are still drawing up wind from the south, so it remains warm. Got lots of high pressure across northern West Europe as well. All of the low pressure rain-bearing Atlantic weather systems are out to our west. This is how the UK Met looks for Friday. So high pressure ridging into the south on Friday, turning it's increasingly dry and warm through the end of the week. It'll be very warm end of the week as well, and quite humid too. And into weekend, the high pressure strengthens. So we've got a proper, talked about this in videos before, got a proper barbecue weekend coming up, high and dry and a big area of high pressure. I think temperatures will lift at least to the mid, if not the upper 20s Celsius. An outside chance we might get 30 degrees at the end of the weekend on Sunday or into the early part of next week. So very warm, possibly quite hot, and plenty of sunshine and dry weather That's as far as we get to with the UK Met to Monday the 14th June. Just beginning to weaken up the ridge a little bit. Starting to bring a trough into the west. That might trigger some thunderstorms. And then do we go unsettled after that, or does the high pressure continue to rule the roost? That is a question that we would have to answer. Right, that's as far as we go with UK Met. Right, let's have a look at the midnight GFS run there. So high pressure building up from the south on Friday is going to give us a mainly dry and potentially very warm, not sure what's going on here. We're running rather slow with the West Central. There's been all sorts of problems, hasn't there, on the internet today. So let's hope all the websites we're using for this video are going to hold out before we end the video. I know there's been major outages on many websites today, so fingers crossed it's all going to work out. Right, so this is how the midnight GFS run. So let's go back one more step. This is how the midnight GFS run looking for Saturday. Again, that high pressure strengthening on Saturday and then pushing northwards as we go through into Saturday. Big high pressure brings loads of dry and warm weather over the weekend. Upper air temperatures look very warm indeed. They'll be back to sunshine too. Early next week, the high pressure is still dominating weather. Upper air temperatures remain warm through the early part of next week. That ridge is still there, but weakening a little bit on Tuesday. Notice this deepening area of low pressure in the Atlantic. Upper air temperatures start to lower a bit, but still pretty warm away from northern Scotland. And then we get through into Wednesday, and in comes the low. Deepening area of low pressure on Wednesday. All change, band of heavy rain probably sweeping southeast on an active cold front and becoming much cooler behind that. Look at the upper air temperatures lowering significantly in the north. Still just about hanging on to last vestiges of warmth in the south. But by Thursday next week, we are all into much cooler and much more unsettled west-northwesterly winds. And the winds actually turn northerly into the end next week. This is day 10, Friday 18th June. The GFS brings in a northerly then. Look how much lower the upper air temperatures are. Crash in the upper air temperatures and the surface temperatures too taking place next week. Then the extended range is just low pressure really coming in off the Atlantic, so bouts of rain, cool temperatures as well as we progress on through the rest of the third week of June. Actually looking a little bit autumnal maybe. So wet, cool, unsettled weather there as we go beyond day 10, between sort of days 10 and 15. Right, so that's the midnight run. How does the GFS 6-day compare? Let's have a look again. We've got high pressure building up from the south on Friday. So into the weekend, barbecue weekend coming up. Going to be very warm. Those upper air temperatures mainly dry over the weekend as well. Into the upper next week, the high pressure continues to ridge in. It's weakening, but it's still ridging in, keeping us mainly dry and quite warm. Low pressure, though, deepening in the North Atlantic. Wednesday, again, changeover day, 16th of June, virtually bang on, middle of the month. In comes the low pressure. Cold front moves southeastwards, bringing rain and lowering the temperature significantly. Second half next week looks much cooler, winds in from the northwest and probably rather showery as well. And then, right, we're just beyond day 10 now, so still looking unsettled, low pressure, bringing further bouts of rain in from the Atlantic. We try and build a bit of a ridge there on the 20th of June. Doesn't come to anything. The next low just rolls in, brings another batch of wet weather on the 21st of June. And then we end up rather flat and westerly. So we're trying to ridge high pressure in from the southwest there on the 24th of June, but got more low pressure in the North Atlantic. It's not as unsettled as the midnight GFS run in the extended range, but nevertheless, it is still pretty cool and unsettled for the third week of June with the 6F. GM looks like this again. High pressure to our south, building up into country over the weekend will give us a very warm, if not quite hot, barbecue weekend. We're bringing up the plus 15 celsius iceberg, very close to the south. That's the kind of thing that could get us to 30 degrees in the southeast on Sunday afternoon. And then into next week again, same idea. High pressure continuing to ridge and brings us lots of dry and very warm weather. Then the middle of next week, big change takes place. Low pressure comes in off the North Atlantic, starts to turn cooler and more unsettled as well. Winds go into the northwest, will lower the temperatures very significantly and substantially. Look how much cooler the upper air temperatures are by day 10 compared to like just a few days before. So yeah, big changes next week. Something much cooler and much more showery. And we've got the ECM looking like this. If you enjoyed the video, by the way, please smash the like button and make sure you sub to the channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Right, so this is how the ECM looks for Friday. Again, the high pressure reaching up from the south will give us a barbecue weekend. Going to be dry, fine, warm, maybe quite hot. That lasting to the early part of next week as well. Upper air temperature looking very warm across the country. Now, what does the ECM do with the break in the middle of next week? It does deepen this area of low pressure to the west of Ireland. So we have got a very significant area of low pressure actually just to the west of Ireland that's trying to push in off the Atlantic, and it does to some degree. I think the ECM continues to be a little bit less unsettled and not as cool through the middle and second half next week as like the GFS in particular and also the GEM. But it is bringing in cooler and more showery weather. So I think the ECM is beginning to move towards the GFS actually for next week, for a while anyway. By daytime, we've got this rather bizarre looking chart, which is the 18th of June. We've got this rather bizarre looking chart with like another deepening area of low pressure in the Atlantic, but all looking very slack. So quite what's going on there, I'm not sure. So it's a strange sort of ECM run today. But I think the ECM is probably shifting just a little bit now towards the more unsettled and cooler GFS output. This would be precipitation type forecast based on that ECM run. So again, we've got lots of dry weather coming over the next few days. There will be some showery bursts in the northwest, but many areas will be dry with plenty of warm sunshine to come into the weekend and lasting into the early part of next week as well. Middle of next week, when things begin to break down a little bit, but it takes a long time before we start to push this band of rain through, but eventually we do push it through later next week. There's that heavy rain just to the west of Ireland associated with that next low that's in the Atlantic by day 10. Quite where that's going remains to be seen. Right, let's just turn off webcam and have a look at the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10 by the Icelandic Met Office. This gets us to the 18th of June. Of course, so 21 members of the ECM ensemble still have high pressure, or a ridge anyway, to our east, low pressure to our west, and this will be drawing up a warm southerly type flow. So the ECM is not as unsettled or as cool as the GEM, and in particular the GFS output around day 10. It has shifted a little bit in that direction, but it's still trying to hang on to the fine weather. 17 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure to east and southeast, low pressure to the north of Scotland. That's probably starting to break down ridge a little bit, but should still bring quite a bit of dry weather. And then 13 just here. These are the most unsettled options. So bringing in the wind off the Atlantic, that's going to be the coolest and most showery of the options. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. This will get us to the 23rd of June. 18 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure to our east and also to our west. Probably a trough is through here, so that could be a little bit showery. Another 18 have us under high pressure, so obviously that's keeping the warm, dry weather going. And then 15 building up a Scandinavian high with low pressure to the south. That could be a little bit more unsettled, but could be volatile. That could bring like southerly, southeasterly winds and might be thundery, sort of thing that might give us some thunder. Very inconclusive where we're going through the second half of June, I have to say, between the GFS and the ECM. Let's see what the CFS says before we go. So these are 500 millibar heights breaking down to week pairs. The first week pair takes from the 8th to the 14th of June. The coming week will be dominated by high pressure, so dry and warm. Maybe even quite hot by the weekend. Week 2 will be the 15th to the 21st of June. Again, lots of high pressure influences going on. So should again be mainly settled there. Change to week 3 compared to yesterday, which was quite unsettled. Now we keep the high pressure going. Today, this is 22nd, 28th of June. High pressure again ridging through the country and going to our east. So it should be plenty of dry and warm weather with that. And look at this, week 4, high pressure, 29th of June, 5th of July. Big area of high pressure right over top of the country. CFS today has shifted towards a dry and warm, maybe quite hot outlook for the rest of June and even lasting into July. So where we go through the second half of July, second half of June, I should say, it is very, very uncertain. You know, all options are on the table. It's still to be revealed. It's all up for grabs. And we shall see quite what's causing this. This variability across these models for the second half of June. I'm not sure, because the second half of June is not normally a period that you associate with great uncertainty. You know, there are certain times of the year that you think of as being very uncertain times, like September, for example, which is always a very uncertain month due to what's going on in the tropical Atlantic with tropical storms and hurricanes. I've not got any of that at the moment, so quite what is causing this mayhem within the model output, I'm not sure, but it's all rather exciting, and it's all to be revealed. So if you like hot summer weather, then it's possible we keep that going into the second half of June. If you want it to turn cooler or wetter, then hang in there, because that might happen as well. So it is all to be revealed. Of course, we might get a blend of the two. We might keep it warm, but turn it thundery. So let's just wait and see. If you enjoyed the video, then please smash the like button, make sure you sub to the channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Tell friends, family, everybody else to subscribe. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for doing this, the GavsWeatherVids. Drop a comment and let us know what you think. If you sub, you'll be able to see future weather content, and who won't want to do that? Right, been quite a long video. I wanted to go over those sea surface temperature anomalies, though, for this one. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. And, yeah, loads of dry and warm weather continuing into the early part of next week. Middle of next week might get a change to something cooler and more unsettled, but it's by no means certain that that's what's going to happen. So, as I say, second half of June is up for grabs. Tomorrow, we're going to have a USA forecast, and we'll have a 10 to 14 day for you as well. So, check back to the channel for more tomorrow. For today's video, so that's all for now, and thanks for watching.